Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtabrayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhavati Naishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 5, the demigods appeal to the Lord for protection. Text number 27 onwards. So we saw last time Lord Brahma, along with all the demigods, they went to Shvetadvip, and Lord Brahma is putting forward all these prayers. He's praying to the Lord. First, he's glorifying. Vipashchitam prana manodhyatmana marthendriya bhasamanitram avranam chaya tapo yatrana gridhra pakshav tamaksharam kham triyugam rajamahe. The Supreme Personality of Godhead directly and indirectly knows how everything, including the living force, mind, and intelligence, is working under his control. He is the illuminator of everything, has no ignorance. He does not have a material body subject to the reactions of previous activities, and is free from the ignorance of partiality and materialistic education. I therefore take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, who is eternal, all-pervading, and as great as the sky, and who appears with 6 opulences in 3 yogas, Satya, Treta, and Dvapara. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme Personality of the Godhead is described in this way. Janmadyasya yata anmayad itaratascha abhigya. The Lord is the origin of all emanations, and he directly and indirectly knows everything about all the activities within his creation. Therefore, the Lord is addressed here as Vipashchitam, one who is full of all knowledge or who knows everything. The Lord is a supreme soul, and he knows everything about the living entities and their senses, and he knows everything about all the living entities. That's how knowledgeable he is. The word anidra, meaning always awake and free from ignorance, is very important in this verse. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Matta Smritir Jnanam Abohanam Cha. It is the Lord who gives intelligence to everyone and causes everyone to forget. There are millions and millions of living entities, and the Lord gives them directions. Therefore, he has no time to sleep, and is never in ignorance of our activities. So sleep also means ignorance. The Lord is not in ignorance. The Lord is a witness of everything. He sees what we are doing at every moment. Cannot run away from him. The Lord is not covered by a body resulting from karma. Our bodies are formed as a result of our past deeds, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not have a material body, and therefore he has no avidya or ignorance. He does not sleep, but he is always alert and awake. Can we even imagine all these qualities of the Supreme Lord? The Supreme Lord is described as 3 Yuga because although he appeared variously in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Dvapara Yuga, when he appeared in Kali Yuga, he never declared himself the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna Varanam Tusha Krishna, Sango Pangastra Parshadam. The Lord appears in Kali Yuga as a devotee. Thus, although he is Krishna, he chants the Hare Krishna mantra like a devotee. Still, Srimad Bhagavatam recommends Yajna Sankirtana Prayas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose complexion is not black like that of Krishna, but is golden. Tush Krishna means his complexion is Krishna. Krishna also means black. So his complexion is not black like that of Krishna. And he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is accompanied by associates like Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar, and Shrivas. Those who are sufficiently intelligent worship this Supreme Personality of Godhead by performing Sankirtan Yagya. In this incarnation, the Supreme Lord declares himself not to be the Supreme Lord, and therefore he is known as Triyuga. So Triyuga means he appears as himself, as a Lord in Satyuga, Treta, and Dwapar. But in Kali Yuga, he appears as the devotee. Also, there's another reason for Triyuga. It's mentioned in the translation, who appears with 6 opulences. So 6 opulences also means Triyuga. So combination of 2 in 3 sets. So that's also 6 opulences. But here it means he appears like God in 3 yugas. But in Kali Yuga, he appears as a devotee, although he is Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. And that is why if we read Gita Govinda, Jayadev Goswami mentions 10 incarnations, Dashavatara. And in that, he does not list Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? Because they are not avatar, they are avatari. They are the source of all incarnations. Balramji is mentioned, but not Krishna, not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kalki avatar is mentioned, Buddha avatar is mentioned, not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 28. Ajasya chakram tvajera yamanam manomayam panchadasharamashu trinabhi vidyut chalam ashtanemi yaddakshamahu samritam prapadye. In the cycle of material activities, the material body resembles the wheel of a mental chariot. The 10 senses, why 5 for working and 5 for gathering knowledge, and the 5 life hairs within the body form the 15 spokes of the chariot's wheels. The 3 modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are its center of activities. And the 8 ingredients of nature, earth, water, fire, air, sky, mind, intelligence, and false ego, comprise the rim of the wheel. The external material energy moves this wheel like electrical energy. Thus, the wheel revolves very quickly around its hub or central support, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Super Soul and the ultimate truth. We offer our respectful obeisances unto him. So here it's chariot is described, the material body is considered a wheel of a mental chariot. So there are different descriptions of chariots are given in different places. But here Brahmaji is praying, so he is comparing it differently. But nevertheless, the wheel goes on, moves on, and the wheel of time goes on, always keeps on moving. The cycle of repeated birth and death is figuratively described here. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, aparayamitastvanyam prakritim vidhi me para. The entire world is going on because the living entity, who is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, is utilizing the material energy. Under the clutches of the material energy, the Jivatma is revolving on the wheel of birth and death, under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The central point is the Super Soul. So as explained in Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara Sarva Bhutana, the Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjun, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated on, as on a machine made of the material energy. The material body of the living entity is a result of the conditioned soul's activities. And because the supporter is a super soul, the super soul is a true reality. Every one of us, therefore, should offer respectful obeisances to this central reality. One should not be misguided by the activities of this material world and forget the central point, the absolute truth. That is the instruction given here by Lord Brahma. See, so wheel rotates and so many activities going on, but the center, here it is said, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, center or the hub. So without the hub, nothing can go on, nothing can move. And everything rests on that hub. So we should not forget that. But in the conditioned state, in the material world, we forget who's the center, who's the hub, who's everything is resting upon. And then we just keep on committing so many karmas and then vikarmas, and then we keep on getting the reactions. So sometimes on the wheel we are up, sometimes we are down. And that's always going on. Yaik varnam tamasah param tat alokam avyaktam anantaparam asam chakaropa suparnamenam upasate yoga rathena dhira. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva. And therefore he is Ekavarna, the Omkar, Pranav. Because the Lord is beyond the cosmic manifestation, which is considered to be darkness, he is not visible to material eyes. Nonetheless, he is not separated from us by time or space, but is present everywhere. Seated on his carrier Garuda, he is worshipped by means of mystical yogic power, by those who have achieved freedom from agitation. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto him. So he is not separated. So he is not under time or space. He is everywhere. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. In this material world, the three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance prevail. Among these three, goodness is a platform of knowledge, and passion brings about a mixture of knowledge and ignorance. But the mode of ignorance is full of darkness. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is beyond darkness and passion. He is on the platform where goodness or knowledge is not disturbed by passion and ignorance. This is called the Vasudeva platform. It's on this platform of Vasudeva that Vasudeva or Krishna can appear. Thus, Krishna appeared on this planet as a son of Vasudeva. Because the Lord is situated beyond the three modes of material nature, he is unseen by those who are dominated by these three modes. One must therefore become dhira or undisturbed by the modes of material nature. The process of yoga may be practiced by one who is free from the agitation of these modes. Therefore, yoga is defined in this way: Yoga Indriya Samyama. As previously explained, we are disturbed by the Indriyas or senses. Moreover, we are agitated by the three modes of material nature, which are imposed upon us by the external energy. In the conditional life, the living entity moves turbulently in the whirlpool of birth and death. But when one is situated on the transcendental platform of Vishuddha Sattva, pure goodness, he can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who sits on the back of Garuda. Lord Brahma offers his respectful obeisances unto that Supreme Lord. So the Supreme Lord is always in pure goodness, so Shuddha Sattva, beyond even material mode of goodness. And since we are in this material world, he is not visible. We are in ignorance, complete ignorance. So we have to transfer or move ourselves from ignorance to goodness. Then we can have some realization, and that or pure goodness by bhakti. Then that platform is called Vasudeva Shuddha platform or Shuddha Sattva platform. So that is where we can have his darshan or we can realize him. Here we in the three modes of material nature, we are agitated, we are moving turbulently. And how in the world we can have his darshan or realizations? It can only happen by his mercy, otherwise there is no way possible. But to have his real darshan realizations, we have to grow beyond this material mode of goodness. Na yasya kasyati titarti mayam yaya janu muyati vedanartham tam nirjitatmatma gunam paresham namam bhuteshu samam charantam. No one can overcome the Supreme Personality of Godhead's illusory energy, Maya, which is so strong that it bewilders everyone, making one lose the sense to understand the aim of life. That same Maya, however, is subdued by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who rules everyone and who is equally disposed towards all living entities. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto him. So Supreme Lord's position is mentioned in previous verse. And now the material energy, Maya, and our position, we're just completely bewildered or befooled by Maya. The prowess of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, certainly controls all living entities, so much so that the living entities have forgotten the aim of life. Nata vidu svarthagatim hi Vishnu. The living entities have forgotten that the aim of life is to go back to Godhead. The external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives all conditioned souls what appears to be an opportunity to be happy within this material world. But this is Maya. In other words, it's a dream that is never to be fulfilled. Thus, every living being is illusioned by the external energy of the Supreme Lord. That illusory energy is undoubtedly very strong, but she is fully under the control of the transcendental person who's described in this verse as Paresham, the transcendental Lord. The Lord is not a part of the material creation, but is beyond the creation. Therefore, not only does he control the conditioned souls through his external energy, but he also controls the external energy itself. Maya dhakshena prakriti, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. External energy, internal energy, everything works under my control. Bhagavad Gita clearly says that the strong material energy controls everyone, and that getting out of her control is extremely difficult. That controlling energy belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and works under his control. The living entities, however, being subdued by the material energy, have forgotten the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the job of Maya, to make us forget the Supreme Lord. But at the same time, our job is to rectify us, and then if we are trying to progress towards the Supreme Lord, she gives tests so we can be more determined or aware of what we are doing and then make progress steadily. So she has a very thankless job, but she is Lord's energy and she is doing the job very well. Ime vayam yat priyaya vatanva satvena srishta bahirantaravihi katim na sukshmam rish yascha vidmahe kuto asuradya itar pradhanaha. Since our bodies are made of sattva guna, we, the demigods, are internally and externally situated in goodness. All the great saints are also situated in that way. Therefore, if even we cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what is to be said of those who are most insignificant in their bodily constitutions, being situated in the modes of passion and ignorance? How can they understand the Lord? Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto him. So Brahma is saying, we are made of Sattva-guna. We mean the demigods. Why? Because it's mentioned in Gita. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastho. Those who are in mode of goodness, Sattva-guna, they'll go to the upper, higher planets. So Brahma is saying, if it's difficult for us to understand him, so what about those in the modes of passion and ignorance, like people like us. Atheists and demons cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although He is situated within everyone. For them, the Lord finally appears in the form of death, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Atheists think that they are independent and therefore they do not care about the supremacy of the Lord. Yet the Lord asserts His supremacy when He overcomes them as death. At the time of death, their attempts to use a so-called scientific knowledge and philosophical speculation to deny the supremacy of the Lord cannot work. Hiranyakashipu, for example, was an exalted representative of the atheistic class of men. He always challenged the existence of God, and thus he became inimical, even towards his own son. Everyone was afraid of Hiranyakashipu's atheistic principles. Nonetheless, when Lord Nrsimhadev appeared in order to kill him, Hiranyakashipu's atheistic principles could not save him. Even if he had said, "No, I don't believe in God," well, Nrsimhadev is sitting right on you, or you're sitting on the laps of Nrsimhadev. What difference does it make whether you believe or not? He's there and he's killing you. Lord Nrsimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu and took away all his power, influence, and pride. Atheistic men, however, never understand how everything they create is annihilated. The supersoul is situated within them, but because of the predominance of the modes of passion and ignorance, they cannot understand the supremacy of the Lord. Even the demigods, the devotees who are transcendently situated or situated on the platform of goodness, are not fully aware of the qualities and position of the Lord. So even the demigods, the devotees who are transcendently situated or situated on the platform of goodness, are not fully aware of the qualities and position of the Lord. How then can the demons and atheists understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead? It's not possible. Therefore, to gain this understanding, the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, offered their respectful obeisances to the Lord, because they understand only by the mercy of the Lord we can understand Him to the degree that He wants us to understand Him. Without that, nobody can understand the Supreme Lord. And definitely not these atheists. And Prabhupada did make a comment about the scientists. Their attempts to use this so-called scientific knowledge is just because these scientists, Prabhupada was never against their technological advancement, but he was always against that these scientists don't believe in the Lord. Just because we are doing some scientific advancement, some discoveries, inventions, we have to come to the real understanding is everything is possible by the mercy of the Lord. So scientists can keep the Nobel Prizes or whatever the research work, but ultimately they know, but they don't admit it. Everything comes from the Lord, everything rests on the Lord, everything belongs to the Lord. But they somehow get busy in denying that. Pado mahiham swakriteva yasya chaturvido yatra hi bhuta sargaha savai mahapurush atmatantraha prasidatam brahm mahavibhutibhi. On this earth, there are 4 kinds of living entities who are all created by Him. Material creation rests on His lotus feet. He is a great Supreme Person, full of opulence and power. May He be pleased with us. The word Mahi refers to the 5 material elements: earth, water, air, fire, and sky. which rest upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mahat Padam Punya Yasho Murari. The Mahat Tattva, the total material energy, rests on his lotus feet. For the cosmic manifestation is but another opulence of the Lord. In this cosmic manifestation, so cosmic manifestation means this material world. There are four kinds of living entities. Jarayuja, those born from embryos. Andaja, those born from eggs. Svedaja, those born from perspiration. And Udbija, those born from seeds. Everything is generated from the Lord. But even all these four kinds of living entities, ultimately they all come from the Lord. As it is mentioned in Vedanta Sutra, Janmadi Asya Yataha. He is the origin of everything. No one is independent. But the Supreme Soul is completely independent. The word Surat means independent. We are dependent, whereas the Supreme Lord is completely independent. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is greatest of all. Even Lord Brahma, who created the cosmic manifestation, is but another opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The material creation is activated by the Lord, and therefore the Lord is not a part of material creation. Lord exists in his original spiritual position. The universal form of the Lord, the Vairaja Murti, is another feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Brahmaji is first, just like any other sequence of prayers, first they glorify the Lord, then they tell him their problems, and or then they take shelter of him and tell him their problems. Ask them, as the Lord, to please fix the problems. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments? Okay, so you all have safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank